Welcome to Pitch the Tide 2026 Rising Tide. Every single Friday, we do this special show. It's called Pitch the Tide. We do a restaurant technology showcase show, and we have a packed house today. So if you're watching on LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, welcome. We have a very exciting episode. We're going to talk about Scale Social. Runbin Dong is going to pitch the Sharks. But before we get into it, I'm going to have two special Sharks. Troy, who are you? What are you building? And yeah, go ahead. Happy 2026, Troy. I miss you.
Happy 2026. Welcome back to California. Can't wait to hear about your travels already. It's been early and you're already out and about. I'm Troy Hooper, CEO of Hot Palate America, Pepper Lunch Restaurants. We're the parent holding company there, and have the great privilege of leading the growth here at Pepper Lunch. And we've got 560 Japanese fast casual teppanyaki for one DIY teppanyaki restaurants in 17 countries around the world, and adding many, many more this year. Really excited, lots going on. But yeah, we're building an empire and expanding across the globe and adding countries. It's a busy time over at Pepper Lunch.
If someone's watching this in less than 60 seconds, why should they join the Rising Tide community? Live shows on Wednesdays, live shows on Fridays. What have we built starting on you and I became as close as we are thanks to this crazy audio app called Clubhouse. So 60 seconds or less. Tell someone that doesn't know why they should get involved in the community.
Yeah, listen, the only way to achieve the highest goals that you have for yourself personally and professionally is to include others and ask for help, get perspective, get connected, get introductions, right? Learn about service and product vendors, learn about shows and conferences, learn about technomic and data coming out of, so you're not the only one, you're not isolated in the world. If you're in the hospitality, restaurant, or any part of this industry, I don't care if you're on the technology side, you're on the vendor service side, you're on a product side. I think Deuce is on everything, and Deuce got a company for everything. But you can't go it alone, and you're going to go further faster with a community. That's what this is all about. This is not a high stress pitch environment. We're doing these fun introductions to help our community learn more. But we've been doing this twice a week, every week for almost 5 years.
Almost 5 years. That's a long running show.
Consistency's king, man. These people will be here for you. It's okay. I don't make every show. I probably make one every 2 weeks at this point, but out of 4. But it doesn't matter. The community's always there. You can always reach out. It's just an environment where people get together, share their stories, ask for help, get insights, and in this case, it'll be feedback, right? So that's why you need to join the Rising Tides community.
There it is, Troy Hooper. Deuce Raymond, who are you? What are you building? And welcome to the show, man. Thanks for taking time. I know both of you have tight schedules, so thank you for that's part of, I equate this to what it's like to play pickup basketball. We will always be there, 10 a.m. on Wednesday, 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time, 6 p.m. London time on Wednesday and on Friday. We will show up. The community will show up. Sometimes I host, sometimes community members host, but no matter what, you can always come and play ball. So thank you for coming to play ball while your schedule allows.
No, that's really cool, Shawn. And you have the unique perspective to be able to get me to do things that I usually wouldn't do. So
I am so good at getting people to be uncomfortable. That's one of my talents. It's a superpower.
That's awesome. You found the 20 minutes in my day that I actually don't have scheduled, which is great. So I'm Deuce Raymond. I'm the managing partner of SBR Events Group, which has 3 brands: Sweet Baby Ray's Catering, True Cuisine Special Events, which is our high-end catering company, and then Deuce's Wild. Deuce's Wild is sauces and rubs. It's a barbecue brand that I've created after my family. My dad's a chef that created Sweet Baby Ray's. My uncle asked, why haven't I done anything? So I had to start Deuce's Wild. We started that back in 2010, just selling sauces and rubs and mainly actually doing barbecue competitions. And now we're building our first Deuce's Wild restaurant. We're just in the process of getting all the site plans and designs. And, I had a meeting with Shawn earlier today talking about our tech stack and how we're going to incorporate AI into the drive-through and, all sorts of really, really cool stuff. But we run a $9 million catering business in the Chicago suburbs. And, last year we did 350 weddings. We have over 200 staff members, from everything from bartenders to chefs to servers, event directors. And, it's a very intense business, but it's something that I really like. It's different every day. There's new venues, new menus, always new people that you're working with. So it's something that keeps me engaged and excited for sure.
There it is. Skip Kimball, thank you for watching on LinkedIn. He says, Deuce, we need to know each other. That's how magic happens. It all happens in real life, digital receipts. Please connect with each other. This community will follow you on any platform. Whatever podcast you're on, we'll support you. But let's get to the show. Runbin Dong, we're going to bring you up. Welcome. Thank you for being here. We're going to actually go off the stage and let you pitch the tide. Who are you? What are you building? And yeah, let's get into it.
Thank you, Shawn. All right. Am I good to go?
Yeah, go
awesome.
for it.
Hey guys, and hello Sharks. It's a privilege to be here today. My name is Runbin. I'm the founder and CEO of a company called Scale Social AI. We are on a mission to turn everyday customers, these are not creators, your normal customers, into your best fans and in promoting your brand at scale. So next slide. Yeah, so Scale Social was actually born out of my personal experience as an operator. So quick context, both my parents were restaurateurs. They've done Chinese and Japanese concepts throughout their lives. They eventually retired. In retirement, my mom wasn't doing particularly well. And so she and I actually started a handmade Chinese dumpling brand. We mirrored it very close to 小吃街, which later rebranded into Mila. The idea is customers will place orders online on a website every single week. And I actually personally hand delivered every single dumpling to our customer store every single Saturday. That's about 200 miles traveled every single weekend. And it's incredible. I've learned to realize why people are eating food. You're eating food because of the customers. And while it was backbreaking work, and I don't think we made a lot of money from it, it was extremely rewarding. And so after we sold the business, I started thinking a lot more about how to potentially solve one of the biggest problems that I personally experienced while running this brand. It's how do you grow a following? How do you grow customer base that are real, not your fake followers, but folks who really are advocates for your brand? And we really, really enjoyed having that base. Next slide. And in the earliest days, as we built out the technology, we initially had this idea of building an AI CMO. Turns out it was very misguided. It was a terrible idea. We eventually burnt it and threw it into the trash can. And when we went back to the drawing board, I was just scrolling through my text messages because our dumpling train went by every single weekend. And because we care so much about customer experience, we would text customers when we're 3 stops away and 1 stop away from them. That means we have our customers' phone numbers on speed dial. We knew them by name. And guess what? That interaction was magical. Yeah, it's not really scalable, right? But I would receive photos and videos of the content that they generate back to us. So what you're looking at on the slide here is actually real text messages that we exchange with our customers. And that content turned out to be the best marketing material that we could possibly have hoped for. And that was the inspiration behind Scale Social. If you think about what we do at the crux and at scale, it's really scaling that kind of interaction. It's genuine, it's authentic, it's real. And the text message on the right actually made the end of 2025 for me. We had a customer who actually reached out, and we've had long sold the business, but they were like, hey, look, we would love to have you guys come back. That was amazing. Next slide. So the reason we're doing this, as you can appreciate, is that customer posts customer content just far outperform traditional ads, right? We live in a day, and I was just watching Netflix the other day. Even Netflix, as you pay for that subscription, you're still getting bombarded by ads. That's the world we live in right now. And we are so attention deficit. Yet, at the same time, we do connect with very genuine experiences because we care about other human beings. That's just innate in our nature. And that's why we're doing what we do. Next slide. And as we've come to learn by operating in the space and partnering with several brands, there is an authenticity gap in how we address marketing at scale. On the corporate side, we wanted to help brands maintain that brand identity and consistency as we think about national scale. Yet on the local scale, we're drawing content directly from that local market. Now, when you think about this gap, how do you bridge this, right? And Scale Social is very much built to bridge both the brand safety side on the corporate end and also the local hyper-targeting side for local brands. Next slide. And goes without saying, there's a lot of research already been done on why user-generated content is much more meaningful compared to your traditional ads or even influencers in many respects. It far outperforms other ad types. It outperforms other content types. Higher click-through rate. Overall, it just makes for a much better marketing asset. Next slide. And there are videos that are being generated, and I'll show a little bit more as to how our technology works. But when you think about our tech layer, when we partner with a brand, for the diner, the guest who's walking into the door, they would see a QR code that's displayed in a restaurant setting. They simply scan the QR code, upload their experience, which hits our experience layer. And then they are able to redeem a reward right away from that location. That can be a free fries, free drink, free dessert, whatever the operator deems to be necessary. That's it on the guest experience. We're not asking them to share on social because nobody really does that anymore. We're not asking them to do a bunch of other things. It's really a 3-step process for the guest. For brands and operators, when we partner with them, will send a get started kit that contains these QR codes that are already designed to your brand spec. So what that means is you're the operator, you literally would have a curated box land at your location. You open it and you simply set up the QR codes. That's it. There's no download, no integration, no setup. It just works outside of the box. And what happens is on the tech layer, when the upload is made, that content is being evaluated by our AI engine in real time. We're able to tell how great of a piece of content that is. And because we're running ad campaigns on the back end, we're able to prompt the customer to produce more of that kind of content because we know it works. And so at scale, Scale Social operates as that infrastructure layer. We collect content, we make short form videos, and we place ads using those videos that show genuine, authentic moments. Next slide. Oh, and I actually just talked through all of that. Yeah, so this is a good slide for us to land on, right? So as a highlight, QR code, collect content, make videos, amplify across social channels and Google. And we have a patent process around how this feedback loop generates not only a flywheel effect of endless content that feels genuine and authentic for the brands. We also generate a ton of metadata for how your customers are interacting with your brand in any given location. That insight is very meaningful when you're operating on the C level for any given brand. Next slide. Here's a typical campaign performance for how our clients are generating results using Scale Social. We have an average of 75% hook rate, which is about more than double of your industry standard. Industry standard is about 30%. An average watch time on our videos of 8 seconds and more. 6.2% engagement rate, cost per click is lower, click-through rate is higher. right? So all the metrics are indicating that this mechanism works. Next slide. And when we think about what we deliver back to the operators and the partners that we work with, one, it's a multi-channel capture. It doesn't have to be a QR code. You can send a text message. At the end of the day, it's a live link, right? And that experience is designed and on brand for you. It's white labeled. So it feels and looks like you. Number two, Number two, AI moderation. So we moderate all of the content that's coming into our server and we label everything. And then on top of that, we produce the videos. We make sure that there's always a human in the loop in approving the videos that's coming in, right? So when we produce the reel, it doesn't go out automatically. It actually gets sent over to the CMO or the head of marketing or the operator at the location. They thumb it up, and then we deploy it across hyper-localized targeting. And we constantly optimize the ad spend across all of these various channels, because one of the challenges for not only operators, but also marketers is, how do we know what channel works? Is it more spend on Meta? Is it more spend on TikTok? Or is it more spend on a Google PMax campaign, for example? Next slide. And the results are telling. So this is a case study with one of our major partners, Osmos, which is a Mediterranean brand in North America. So there's a lot of numbers on the right-hand side. The highlight here is we're able to lift their year-over-year sales by 104% when we did a retroactive study. Next slide. And what's really interesting as we engage with more partners in the space is, while the technology is meaningful, it's actually allowed the space for staff to really engage with guests in a store setting. It's organic. It's amazing in that respect, because staff is prompting the guests in this thing that's happening. And there's so much dialogue that happens, which isn't captured in these numbers and, metrics that you track, right? There's just so much intangible dynamic that happens inside a store that goes beyond what the technology typically delivers. And we love that. Next slide. Additional benefits for both the franchisors, the franchisees. At the end of the day, we are in a place to empower customers to create this flywheel effect, which then in turn markets the brand, and it benefits both parties. Next slide. A typical location would have $1,000 to $2,000 per location per month investment. We're dialing in and back on what the ad spend looks like. And by the way, this investment is not our platform. It includes all of the ad spend that you typically would deliver into these channels. So it's all inclusive, right? So with that investment, we will be able to dial into the actual ROI and returns. We typically do a 3-month pilot and run the pilot with our clients. And then we do a retroactive study after the 3 months. In addition, when we onboard every new location, we offer a 14-day onboarding period for free, mainly because it doesn't make sense for us to charge money when we're just getting set up. Next slide. So that's really it. I hope all of that made a lot of sense. And we're definitely on a mission to build out the infrastructure layer that turns customers into your best marketing assets. Here's a shameless plug too. We're offering $500 for every referral. So if you're interested, let us know. Thank you.
Amazing. Well, let me turn it over to Troy and Deuce, since they have hard outs, but Runbin, that was awesome. Troy, feedback, number one, questions, go. You're muted. You're muted. Troy, you're muted. Troy.
How about now?
Your first podcast?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Like, we can
All
hear
right,
you.
great job. Good job. I
Goal.
got it in the end there. I understand. Couple of questions maybe, but initial feedback is you need to be, I think, in my opinion, just personal experience. I get pitched every day, 15, 20 times a day, probably by folks that are trying to sell me something, right? Who are you? What's the problem? What do you do to solve that problem? What do I got to do to get it? Right? Just right off the top, 30 seconds, 60 seconds. empathize with me. I know that when you're running a brand like you do, these are some of the issues you may run into. We've got a unique solution that blah, blah, you know what I mean? Something like that, right? Catch me, the hook. I got to hear the hook. But then when you go into describing it, I'd be a little bit more, I like those first couple slides, just tile impact. Just make it really simple to digest. And don't get into the details too early. Let people ask questions. All right, so here's my first question. If I use the QR code and I deploy this program, I'm incentivizing my guests to activate their fandom, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or their experience, etc. In doing that, when the AI digests it and redeploys it, I can use it organic or paid. That's my question. Okay. So it's important, right? Some you want to go organic and then take what performs really well in organic and then repurpose it in paid, right? So
that's absolutely right.
That was my major question. Is kind of sounded like it sort of only funneled to paid is just what I heard or how I perceived it. It could be my fault, but yeah, just make it really clear. Just organic or paid, all platforms or best if deployed platforms, blah blah blah. But yeah, just simplify it a little bit. And that's normal, right? Like every time you have this conversation, you're going to distill it. If in your mind, your goal is to distill it down, less words, more clarity, shorter conversation, more Q&A, because you want to get to the Q&A. You want to talk for 3 minutes and then let people ask the questions, because the questions are going to tell you what they care about. Right? You told me overall what's happening, what's going on, how this is, what I care about this or that, and that's what I'm coming. I just want to get that answer, right? And if you go on too long, you're trying to answer everybody's question in your pitch. Just let them get to it. Get to a point where they can just be like, oh, okay, got it. That's super easy. Makes sense. So what about this? And we do this right now. We use this agency. Let them tell you what their ecosystem is today. And then you can come back with, great, I totally get that. That's normal. But boy, aren't the pain points this, and this? Here's how we solve for that and make your life so much easier, blah, 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 right?
That was awesome.
Yeah, and look, I'm on board. I'm very curious. I want to get to know you. I want to learn about this. We are seeing the best performance for our new store openings and our post-new store openings is influencer, nano, ultra nano. I don't care how many followers you have. You come in, produce a video, and 2,000 people see it or 200,000 people, see it. I don't care. It's that authentic, sharing, right? And so I want the most inexperienced. I want customers to do this. So I'm really excited that a customer can just do it without having to be a motivated influencer, right? So yeah, congrats. I'm looking forward to learning more.
Great feedback.
Thank you, Troy.
Deuce, you're up. Thank you, Troy, for joining on a short notice.
Great job on the presentation. And I mean, that was extremely good feedback from Troy. So I'm not going to try to top that because I think everything Troy was saying was on point. From an operator perspective, my question would be, and this is where it always gets into the weeds when you work with other marketing companies, is like, what's the transition from all the login information? And you have to be on because it's important as an operator to understand that you need to be on our Meta platform and our TikTok platform, because if you hold the information, then it's your information and not our information. So how does that transition work?
There are two ways that this works today. One is when we work with the operator, we can have them delegate access to our team. This is a situation where we are running the ad campaigns on their behalf through their accounts. So that's one situation. The second situation is if they already have an agency partner, our goal is not to replace that. Instead, partner with them on the content side. So what we can do is we can stream all of that content as well as all the finished reels and land that in their folder, right? And so they can take the content and the videos and place them in the campaigns as they have been doing per usual. The biggest problem that we see is the content, right? Getting that authentic content and scaling that out is the bigger pain point.
Yeah. No, I really like this. As someone that's just going through the process of opening a new restaurant, I could see if we were launched with this to have, dynamic, authentic content right from the get-go, besides the stuff that we're going to produce ourselves. I mean, I think that could be a real game changer. And as to what Troy was saying, this is important in today's day and age. You need to have content, and as Shawn would attest to, the more the merrier. So really, really cool. I am going to jump off, guys, but thank you so much for including me, and congratulations. I think that's a really cool concept. So
appreciate you, dude. Thanks for taking the time, man. Thank you.
You bet.
Let's go ahead and kick it off to Elizabeth Doss. Elizabeth, thank you. And Troy, whenever you need to bounce, thank you for being here. We're grateful. We appreciate it. Great feedback.
Very, very cool. So I am super excited about this, Runbin, because I'm a social media manager and also do consultancy work, et cetera, et cetera. And one of the big issues that we run into, especially when I'm managing multiple restaurants or other things, is how do you fill the content tank, especially with authentic content. And so that's one reason why I absolutely love this. So I would say if you even already have a social media manager, this would be a great gift to them. And and when you said the referral thing, I was like, shoot, when I watched your video with your conversation with Shawn, that's on YouTube. If you guys want to search Cali Barbecue Media and Runbin, you can watch that full conversation. But I called my sister, who's over 8 restaurants here in Greenville, South Carolina. And I was like, you guys need this. Anyway, because they're great at the corporate, the broadcasting event stuff, but they don't have any like other stuff. And I know Troy just jumped off, but I've done some work with Pepper Lunch and creating some content for them. And one of the things, especially when we were trying to get started with the North America side of things, was that we didn't have this content and we were starving for the user generated content. And so this is amazing on that side. I'm kind of sad that Troy jumped off, but my question to you is, and this is not really a question for you, I guess, in the sense of your tech side, because his question was, one of mine was about the organic paid versus paid. Mm-hmm. But the idea of the operations side for Pepper Lunch, especially. So if people are taking content of themselves with these 500-degree hot plates, and there's something in the scene that is not operations approved, like something that's happening. And I know that you're kicking that to marketing, but it's kind of, there might be need to be that nudge on whoever's doing the approval, that you also need to take the operations lessons so that you're just not automatically kicking this out. And all of a sudden now it's an advertisement and it's on your organic page, and there's something happening in the scene that is DHEC would get in trouble for, like all of those types of things. And I know that's not your responsibility, but I was just thinking that could be, a little bit interesting on that side. Anyway, I'm super excited about it, and I'm excited to connect with you on it. But that's my question. I'll hand it back to you.
That was a great question. And so in direct address of that, one, every piece of content that hits our server, whether it's a photo or a video is frame by frame. We actually analyze everything that's in there, right? So imagine a ton of very rich metadata getting generated as a result of that process. What this unlocks, though, is we can actually customize the filter for how we label all of the data. And over time, this filter becomes more and more sophisticated. And so we can flag for things like, so we actually have a client outside of food. They want to flag for adverse events, right? How do you know? How do you visually recognize adverse events in pets, for example? And we can actually do that with our filter. So that's the first piece. The second piece of that is, once all of the metadata is generated, we can actually deliver brand insight reports back to the operator and also to the brand owner.
Perfect. And really quickly, in your conversation with Shawn, you mentioned the length of, you prefer video if people would like that. That's going to get your higher points on with the program. But how long should those videos be?
Typically 3 to 5 seconds. What's interesting is, I don't know if you guys remember Vine. When it was launched, they had a 6-second limit. It's because of technical, like, first of all, it's a technical thing. And then second of it, it's an experience thing.
That's awesome. Elizabeth, great questions. So happy that you're here and happy that you listened. Mike, if someone is in the audience watching on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Instagram, how do they join us? We still have about 30 minutes with Runbin, so if someone wants to join in the audience.
Yeah, if someone still wants to join, the link that's active in LinkedIn, Instagram, we can get you right in here.
Perfect.
So we still have, just click that and I'll move you into the studio.
Yeah, just a reminder, anybody that's watching, it's always better when your voice is up here on stage. So get up here, get involved, stay curious, get involved. Betheshow.media/rising tides. We can add you to our Instagram group. We have a LinkedIn group. We have a Slack channel. But this community only grows when we have more experience and perspective up here on stage. Richard Liverman, my friend, I can't tell you how excited I am. We haven't booked our tickets yet, but I'm coming to London. So get ready. June, second week of June, Cali Barbecue Media. We're doing a Toast on tour. I'm going to be going to as many Toast restaurants, doing restaurant influencer content. See you, see Scott, see Adam Foreman, so many of the Rising Tide community. I cannot wait.
It's going to be good times. It's going to be good times. We will take some great places in the UK. And
I do not doubt.
I don't doubt.
Do I get pudding?
As I proved to Elizabeth, we have great food in the UK. Don't listen to all that propaganda stuff that you got.
I can make some user-generated content in London. How about that?
I mean, seriously, Bill Bird just attacked UK food, and seriously, we should put tariffs on that guy. It's terrible. But there is some great food in the UK, and we'll take you, show you around. Full enough, I'm taking Scott out on Sunday to watch my family's football team play his, but he's going to be with my family in the home end, not with those dirty Leeds fans. So
wow, he's going to be all leaded up, huh?
No, he's going to be in Derby County gear.
Oh, really?
Dirty Leeds. And then when you come over, as it's the summer, we'll show you what cricket is. It's so much more fun than baseball, trust me. So that'd be great.
I want the full London experience. I expect.
Oh, we'll give you that. We'll give you that for sure. So look, give us a call and we'll help you out with that. Just let us know.
What's your feedback for Runbin or questions?
Well, first
who are you? Number one.
Hi, I'm Richard. I work as a business consultant, coach, mentor, branding expert. I've worked on tech startups. I've worked on global brands, and I'm used to pitching. And I thought that the feedback that Troy gave you was excellent. I would add a little bit to that, which is there's a TV program in the UK. It's been running for 40, 50 years. And there's an expression from that TV show that goes, here's one we made earlier. And what would have been brilliant is show us an example. Show us an example of what that user-generated content looks like. Mm. And then when you were describing the process, we have a little bit of an expression, or my business does, which is called don't be boring. So what you can do, instead of speaking so much, what you can do is do a little video. Show a customer going through that process, and what took you 5 minutes to explain, you can do in 30 seconds, which then allows you more time to get involved with the customer. There's that bit when you're pitching, the less time you're talking, the more time the customer's talking, the better. So just some feedback on the pitch. The actual idea is quite interesting, and I've got a couple of technical questions around the idea. AI is very, very much in the spotlight this week in the UK. There's been a lot of controversy around Grok and Elon Musk, who puts it on, because there's been a load of user content in the UK that has basically, where they've used the AI to create some pretty nasty content. And what concerns me a little bit is we've got a bit of a sense of humor in the UK. So one of the things that a lot of people did is we all went on to social media. So in Barcelona, they've been attacking tourists with water pistols. Stay out of Barcelona. In London, what we did is we all went on to TripAdvisor and recommended a restaurant called Aberdeen Angus Steakhouse, famous in London because nobody in London would ever eat there. And we loved them. We made it into this 5-star restaurant, London's best restaurant. There's a queue of Americans out the door. Seriously, it is hilarious.
It's terrible.
We are going to take you. We're going to take you to the best steakhouse. Trust me on that. It's called Hawksmoor. We're going nowhere near Aberdeen Angus. Now, the reason I'm telling you that story is, first of all, it's true and very funny, and Hawksmoor is amazing. But user-generated content is dangerous, because imagine a bunch of, I don't know, drunken, misbehaving students. What concerns me is the AI that is the protection. Now, if I'm the restaurant owner and I'm the brand manager, the last thing I want is a gigantic, you can choose whatever body part you want, going out to my 4 million followers. So I think it's really interesting you've got that AI as a protection. But if I was a brand manager, that would make me really nervous. I know you're talking about putting the human in there, but if that human's the person in a restaurant, what concerns me there is a restaurant manager will always be trying to cut the queue down. How can you develop the product and the proposition to stop drunken students and British people causing mischief? And how can you make it as easy as possible for the restaurants to use it? Because we all know when you've got a multi-site format, they don't want to be doing marketing. They want to be serving customers and hitting targets. So it's just a little bit of a technical question back to you. I think
it's a great question.
Really interesting.
Yeah, and in fact, the product is designed to specifically safeguard that. So the way it works is when a user-generated content is uploaded to our server, it's actually not automatically posted out.
Okay.
It lands in a private server. Nobody sees it except the brand, right? So if you're the owner, you see that private folder. And you typically see two buckets: accepted by our filter and rejected by our filter.
Okay.
We work with you to determine what those rejection criteria are. So there's a layer of customization we can build in on a per brand level. So then what happens is you have two buckets, right? Then our algorithm goes into the accepted bucket, and we're drawing up the best content that we deem to be possible and we know performs really well in ad campaigns. And then we're making short form videos off of that content. Once those videos are made, then our full-time videographer QAs it. So there's a human in the loop on our end. Then once we approve it internally, that gets delivered to the brand owner, to the operator, or the marketing person. Then you see the finished, polished, approved version. There might be some edits. We have not seen a single case yet in the 1 year of existence for Scale Social. There hasn't been a case whereby that polished version of the video lands poorly.
Interesting. I tell you what, that Elizabeth Doss down there, she's dangerous, right? Next time she's in Florida, I'm going to get her to do some terrible content and see if it gets through. I think it's one of those ones where it's one of those bits where how can you test these things to destruction? Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that Elizabeth's the person to destroy things, but it's one of those ones, how can you test this to destruction? And also, just on the pitch, I'd love not only for you to show a video of somebody using it all the way through what you've described, but also some of the content that's worked really, really well. And one of the things that I always think is really effective when you're talking about your customers, just put a list of logos up, because it's a really good way of building credibility really quickly. So just a couple of tips from somebody that's pitched for a living. I wish you all the best with it. It's fascinating.
Thank you, Richard.
Appreciate it. Biseglia, you're up.
Thank you, Shawn. Mike Biseglia, Cali BBQ Media, producer. Runbin, excellent job. I want to echo what Richard said. I'd love to see a visual or like a sizzle of just some of the best moments clipped together for 30, 40 seconds. I think that'd be super cool to see that. And then I'd love to know, based off what Richard asked, just kind of curious, the timeline of how long it takes from QR code videos up, it's 11 seconds long, and then getting to the hands of the operator, the brand manager, like how long that cycle actually takes.
Less than a minute. So when the upload is made by the guest, it is evaluated in real time, and then once it's approved, it lands on the operator side right away.
Got it. Cool. Perfect. Yeah, because I'm just thinking like Super Bowl party. I want to show the action in there, and don't want super fast. And no, that's great. Thank you for the answer.
That's a great point, though. We actually had Duke basketball reach out to us, and they're like, "Hey, can we get you guys into a basketball game watching party?"
Yeah,
because we actually had developed a live feed kind of feature
Wow.
So imagine people scanning QR codes, they're showcasing, hey, I'm having a great time at this party.
That's cool.
Once approved, it shows, like, it gets streamed over right away.
I mean, that's essentially what NFL does when, you know, somebody like
Yeah.
Philip Rivers is back on the Colts and he's playing and they have actual cameras. Don't do that, Richard. Don't ever do that to Philip Rivers. I take offense to that, Richard. But they have his high school in Alabama that he's a head coach for, and they're live streaming that. But like, this is a social way. That's awesome. That's really cool. Love it. Anything else, Mike?
No, that was it. Great job, Runbin.
Mike,
excellent bid.
reminder. Let's talk to Kyle. Let's make sure we get these live streamed on TikTok too. I meant to talk about that.
Cool.
This is welcome to Inside the Cali Barbecue Media Sausage. But when something thought comes in my head, if I don't pass it on to the right person, I will forget all about it. So now it's live for everybody. So hopefully we'll be live on TikTok soon.
Hey, to follow up with Mike's question though, about the time from, because that's specifically about the incentive for the guest. What kind of is the time frame from when the guest uploads to the processes to when it shows up for the manager, like that? Well, because like you're not just doing one video, you're splicing several together. Is that anyway? So I'm just curious, kind of what that time frame is as you're collecting those, and if it's so many videos per month or how that works.
I think I understand your question. So there's two kinds of content or assets. One is raw and uploaded, unfiltered, right? And it might end up into one of the two buckets. And then there's I'm going to pick the best stuff and make a reel or a series of reels. The frequency of the reel making is determined by our collaboration with the brand. So on some brands, they want a monthly drop. And usually when we drop the reels, we drop 3 versions because we always want to A/B test across all of the creatives.
How many seconds? Just a technical
20, typically.
20?
Yep.
And this is meta specific. So Instagram, Facebook? No. All
No,
platforms.
so all
TikTok
platforms.
also?
Yep, TikTok.
YouTube?
YouTube, yes.
Wow.
Shorts.
Shorts. Interesting. What else? What other platform? Just give us a quick platform list.
Actually, you covered it all. It's Meta, TikTok, and
I'm
YouTube.
just making sure. I'm making sure there's nothing that I don't know. Like you're posting videos on X, obviously don't perform very well. I don't know where else. I mean, yeah, I just want to make sure I'm up to date.
Yeah, you are.
Just a quick question. I think it's really interesting that the restaurant chain in Florida you mentioned, do they still use influencers? Has this replaced that? Because I think it's really interesting. When you talk to restaurants, some of them love influencers. They've absolutely done a great job. And others, there's a real backlash, especially in the UK, a backlash where there's actually a trend at the moment where an influencer said, I'll sit outside your restaurant for $3,000 and post a video. And then the actual restaurant owners are now doing it and going viral with that. So I think it's really interesting. There's this whole pros and cons of influencers. And I think we all know there's good and bad. I'm just curious, the people that you currently work with, are they still using influencers? Just out of curiosity.
So your assessment is spot on. Of the clients that we work with, they tend to fall into an interesting spectrum as well. Our job is not to replace the influencer economy. Instead, we complement it. So if you think about the influencer and the creator stuff, right? Like usually a post goes live and then there's a huge spike of interest. It's like fireworks. And after maybe even a couple of days now, it kind of just dies down, right? What we're trying to do is we're turning this whole motion into a repeatable cycle that can last for an entire year and more, right? Because you always have someone new. Your customers are always coming to the door. And that is a very different kind of dynamic compared to, hey, I'm going to reach out to so-and-so, get them to come in. And there's all the logistics stuff that happens, which is really hard. But again, like if they want to do it, that's great. It's just not repeatable.
Awesome. Good stuff. Spencer, what's up? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Welcome to the fiesta.
Yeah, thank you much. Thanks for having me on, as always. I'll tell you, Shawn, if you were going to a cricket match, book the entire weekend off, because that's how long they last. They last. It's a 2-day. I'm not joking. 5 days for some of them. I was in London as a young. I was in London as a young lad.
I want to come back married, not divorced.
There's a lot of drinking involved. You'll love it.
was in London as a young
5-day
lad
cricket match.
with my family. There's a cricket match. We're at our family's house that lived there. We're watching the cricket match. We get in a car. We drive to another city, another county, another part of the country. We land. The cricket match is still on. The same person is up to bat. So enjoy cricket, Shawn. Drink a lot.
Wow, fantastic!
So, yeah,
I love the Canada UK. It's fantastic.
It's a love hate. It is. Yeah. Runbin, good to see you again, as always.
Likewise.
Runbin and I, we're becoming old friends now. This is the multiple times I've seen this pitch now. And I think what everyone's giving you as far as the pitch is concerned, I think I would echo a lot of that just to condense it. And there's an old sales manager that I had that said, get to the WIFM, the what's in it for me. And if you can think about, okay, what's in it for this person that I'm talking to, and I can get to that as soon as possible, the better it is. But I you know me, I love the product. I think you're on the right track of where things are going. We are going to be inundated with so many bots and AI ads and so much fake everything that we are going to be craving. At least I still have faith in humanity that we're going to be craving authenticity and real subject matter from real people. And even to Richard's point about the influencers, the more authentic you can be as an influencer, the better you're going to be. If I can smell that you're a fake and you are just getting paid and you're a professional eater, that I'm not going to pay attention to you. So you're on the right track of this, just enabling people to be able to, or enabling businesses, I guess, to grab that authentic content. I mean, the question I always have is, what's the best mousetrap? What's the incentive for the guests to do this? And I know there's obviously incentives built in from like some sort of discount or free something is that going to be enough for me to continue to come back? And is it something where a lot of people feel that I want to enhance my personal brand because I'm wanting to be an Instagram influencer? Is there a way to, for the restaurant to help the actual influencer or help the actual content creator increase their personal brand online, as well as getting and capturing this information in this content?
These are amazing questions. So let me see if I can peel it back. The first layer of that is we've been in market for a year now, and what we've learned is instant gratification always works better. It's better than, hey, get $5.
Makes fast friends.
That's right.
Fast pay makes fast friends. That's all across the board in business, in life.
Yes. And you want that, right? So for the guest, they do this thing and they get something right away. And so what we've learned, though, is our operators are becoming very creative. And this is where it organically becomes something way more than the technology. I keep emphasizing it's less of the technology, it's the human. And the human piece is, hey, operators are like, hey, I'm going to give out a baklava for this month, but I'm going to swap it up. I'm not going to tell you what it is. Are you going to come back? Do you want to find out? And that's really, really cool. It's ingenious, actually. And we had nothing to do with that, right? But we're learning in market that these are the things that could be done to lift engagement and keep people coming back. So that's the first layer. The second layer of this is we're actually going to be launching a digital punch card. So not only can brands reward their guests for engaging with the brand, we can keep track of how many times they've come back and actually done this thing. And we, Scale Social, can also reward them. So it's 2-layer reward. We have skin in the game too, right? So that's the second layer. The third layer is about the creator. I'm going to bite my tongue very hard to not say too much about what we're building towards. It may not involve crypto. I don't think that's going to be a thing. But there is a general belief that, well, if everyday customers are really advocating for the brand, is there something meaningful that we can deliver back to them in a monetary sense?
Yep.
That's interesting. So yeah, if I'm a Scale Social super user, am I getting something in return? Regardless of if we're going to multiple locations and multiple restaurants and delivering content.
And if we know and can tell the operator, hey, by the way, Spencer's video really outperformed everyone else in this latest campaign, can the brand then reach out to Spencer directly? And you're not signing up to be a creator, by the way, right? Like you had no intention in doing it, but maybe there's something there.
And just that's awesome. Great stuff. Great question, Spencer. Mike, if you can get Claudia the sign in. Claudia, we see you. We'd love to have you on stage. Ask Runbin questions, give him feedback. And that goes for anybody. We try to make this as easy. Our goal is digital hospitality. We want to make it as easy to get to the basketball court and play ball. So this is the Rising Tide community. We want to try it. Go ahead, Elizabeth.
Back to the incentive side of things. Of course, we always talk about if we're not in the room, will your friends talk about you type thing. And when you were talking, it made me think of Hildy Isaacs and the swag side of this. So it wouldn't even have to necessarily be food. There could be a keychain from the restaurant or a sticker or something where once that gets bounced back, you just go grab one from the box in the back and get them their prize for doing that. And so it could be something as inexpensive as something like that. If you can't, if it's a different type of restaurant that couldn't do a free whatever. Anyway,
so to that point, it's a really good one too. Shawn, am I okay to take that?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, great.
This is open forum. I'm not. We all host. Let's go.
Awesome. So 2 layers in this. Scale Social is built more like an infrastructure layer too. So think about how Stripe processes payment, right? And so what that allows us to do is think about and this is my dream. If we can work with a Chick-fil-A and their app, we can embed our solution directly into the app, whereby if consumers, their diners, are contributing content directly inside the app, we can work with Chick-fil-A to reward them with the Chick-fil-A points. So that feedback loop is even more instantaneous, right? And I'm telegraphing a little bit outside of food, but think about Disney's theme park.
Mm-hmm.
Take a photo with the family inside their app, and guess what? The theme park can give you a fast pass to the next ride.
That's right.
That's experiential.
That's really cool. Awesome. Dean LeBay, the Dean, Dynamo Dean, the selling machine.
Hey, what's going on? Dean LeBay down in New Orleans, a retired paperclip salesman who now works with the Cali Barbecue Media Team, marketing consultant. Listen, I'm jazzed to be here because I first listened to a podcast back in October from Ventures in the South. You did a podcast with them, and I love everything I've heard so far. But here's what I haven't heard yet, and this is what I want to kind of talk about. This particular concept that you've got, I would be curious to know the people that come in and use it, and you do the video, what kind of retainment does that have to the customer, to the restaurant owner? In other words, because it's done and they're part of the process, and you've invited and they've got involved with doing this, how much repeat business do they get? And then just basically, I'm assuming, and I know how it works here in New Orleans, when they go to have king cake at somebody's house and says, hey, I was down at Bob's place and they had a thing where I could do a video, and I sent it in and they posted it. Now, how many of those friends are going to now come and visit just for the fact that maybe they might be able to get a free piece of king cake or whatever? I see things. It's not different. It's just that I think that's where the value is, because it's at the end of the day, if the customer's not having fun, if he's not, I don't know. Shawn always talks about be the show, not the commercial. In this particular instance, they are the show. They're not the commercial. They're the show, and they're celebrating the restaurant ownership. So anyway, have you got any numbers on what kind of retainment y'all have on that retention?
So you actually telegraph one of our historical challenges. So for our operator clients and partners, they want sales figures, right? Mm-hmm. It's one of the hardest things to do. Like darndest hardest
the ROI
thing to
of
do.
Social media, you haven't figured that out yet?
You ask any influencer,
you're onto a very big business.
And so, Dean, to answer your question, that's what the digital punch card is meant to do. Because when the QR code is scanned, the device ID is actually unique for every phone. So when that customer comes back and scans the QR code again and re-uploads content, they're re-engaging with the brand. We know they've come back. That's why I'm willing to pay money for it. Right. And Scale Social is paying, and we're not asking the brand to pay. Like, I really want that to work.
Real quick, do you have a hard out, or are you good to go if we go a little bit over?
I do have a hard stop at 2.
A hard stop at 2. Okay, so
yeah, so in 5 minutes. Yeah,
6 minutes, perfect.
Okay,
Right,
listen.
did that answer your question?
Yeah. I've got some others, and I'll tag you on LinkedIn. But I'd sure like to hear from Claudia. I see she's here, so let's talk to her.
Thank you, Dean. Thank you, Claudia. Welcome. You need to unmute.
All right. Sorry about that, guys.
You're good.
Can you hear me?
Yep. Go for it.
So I've been listening. Sorry, I joined on late, but I couldn't help myself. But I wanted to say how much I really love this idea. I'm constantly being asked by some of my clients, like, what else can I do? How can I build my brand? Because I'm constantly preaching, like, build your brand outside the Google ecosystem. And I think brand mentions by social influencers is so powerful right now, especially with AI mode. And if you you can drive that into some of your marketing and like push that, especially with marketing directors, because AI is on everybody's mind. And really, I'm noticing like huge results when my clients are being mentioned by certain influencers. So like if somebody wants to get recognized for serving halal meats and they have a halal influencer that mentions them, they're almost always going to get mentioned by AI mode. And it's way more powerful now than reviews. And people don't realize, they think like they're so focused on reviews. And I agree, content and reviews is so powerful, but brand mentions by influencers is just as powerful. So I think if you kind of push that with some marketing people, you're going to get a lot of people that want to test it out. And another way you can measure ROI is by impressions on a Google business profile. So say like somebody has 20,000 impressions, but after they start working with you, their impressions might increase by say 3,000 or 4,000, because anytime they're mentioned in AI mode, their impressions will go up. So it's something maybe to track. I don't know how like significant it would be, but it would be something for you guys to work on internally if you thought there was some sort of correlation there, because I always track impressions and interactions on a Google business profile, because if an influencer mentions somebody on social, they will go back and search that brand on Google. That's the end point.
I see what you mean. So you're connecting the dots between some engagement metrics on social all the way across to the customer's business, Google business profile for that location.
Correct. Because everyone always says that they may find you on social media, but they end up on Google because they're searching your brand. And that's when you'll see more interactions and the bookings take place and everything else. So you can kind of correlate that with your service.
So we actually have a step beyond that. So a better solution actually in that regard, whereby when we launch the ad campaigns, we're actually tying attribution directly to Google business profile. And in addition to that, we can attribute all the asks for directions as well as actual store visits. It's not perfect science, unfortunately, because of privacy and other things involved, right? But imagine like you see the ad, you click, you then start directing your way to the store. What happens on your phone is you're geolocating that person constantly. That's how navigation works on maps, right? And then when you end up in that location, we're able to draw a ring fence around you and say, well, if you're staying in this tiny little bucket for more than 5 minutes, I have to determine that you actually ended up there. Right? So it's a very close approximation for actual store visit, but it's not like perfect science.
That's really interesting. That's a good one.
Claudia, thank you so much for joining. Anybody that's watching, Runbin, before we let you go, remind us of the referral bonus. How can people get in touch with you? How can they learn more about you? Really, really great job on the pitch. The feedback was awesome. The community was awesome. What a great way to start the year. Thank you for stepping up and doing this. Please, what's that referral? And how can people find out more and connect with you?
Yeah, thank you, Shawn. The referral for every single client that you refer to us that we close, $500 cash back to you. And you can reach out to me at 500. You can reach out to me at hello@scalesocialai.com.
There it is. Runbin Dong. Thank you all, Richard, Spencer, Mike, Dean, Claudia, Elizabeth, Troy, Deuce, everybody that joined, everyone in the comments. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back next week, Wednesday and Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific time. Go to betheshow.media/rising tides. We'll add you to the calendar invite so that you don't miss a show. As always, stay curious, get involved, and don't be afraid to ask for help. Thank you, Runbin. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
Well done.